Here we go. Mark Montanaro, subject is K100 sports misinformation. What is this?
Oh, I get.
I just finished listening to the latest K100 sports episode. We had some misinformation about the 2017 Eagles and the 2023 team. I get Conan not knowing that he's a Chargers fan and Dolphins fan, but for Joe not to catch it as someone from the area is not a good look at a violation.
It is.
I understand Joe's more of a baseball fan, but seriously, Derek Barnett, Lane Johnson, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Jake Elliott are still on the team. And the most memorable Jason Kelsey is still on the team. By the way, Jason Kelsey's going to might be having a kid when the Super Bowl is happening. Did you hear this?
No.
Yeah, his wife is pregnant, and she's due on Super Bowl Sunday. And to forget he was on the team after his legendary parade speech and wearing the Mummers outfit is a major violation. Link attached to the speech for the outfit and his Stone Cold Steve Austin start to the speech, and that's a Mark Montero. We're not going to play that because I'm not going to.
What is this guy talking about?
Well, you said that there was no players left from the 2017 Eagles on this team, and this guy's saying no, there's like 7 or whatever.
Right.
And I should have known, so I got.
Right. Yeah, so you're the one getting railed.
No, yeah, I got hit by friends too. Like, what the hell are you doing? So.
Okay, next is from Mitch Polachek, and the subject is Brady. Disco and Conan, as your resident K100 Tom Brady Mark, I have a question for you. Is this really the end for Brady? I figure you guys would have an insight on this, being you're both semi-retired. He still has it, maybe not like he used to, but he's still number 4 in total passing yards last year, only behind Mahomes and Herbert. Well, if he's number 4, he's only behind Mahomes and Herbert. How's that? That's 3. Okay, so this is misinformation. We're going to be very critical on this. We're going to suspend him for a week for that.
What was the last guy's name?
Mark Montanaro.
All right, sorry, actually, bro, I got that wrong.
He's like
with a run game.
He's like 5 minutes from me. Folsom, PA.
With a run game and some offensive weapons, he's still dangerous. With that said, I have to imagine a lot of teams will still be trying to sign him. I think he'd be a great fit for the San Fran and the Raiders. As a GM of both teams, I'm not sure that is the direction I want to go in. Sure, Brady would put some butts in the seats if that's an issue and sell tons of merch, but that's definitely not planning for the future. This is Mitch from Wahoo. P.S. Billy is awesome. The segments are great. The people complaining about him are snowflakes.
Wait, right, what?
So there's a positive review. Well, this sounds like a sports fan, so you can tell the sports fans like Billy.
There's a
couple.
Wrestling
fans don't.
There's a couple for Billy this week, yeah.
Right, yeah. So the sports fans like the content. I will say this, Ajira, the Raiders are looking at Aaron Rodgers.
Yes,
reuniting him with Devontae Adams, but Brady's retired. He's already announced 2024.
Why would you want Brady to come back, anyways? You know,
and he's already said he's starting with Fox on in next year, not this year. So he's taking a year off, and he's going to come. He'll be a great color. I can't wait to have. I mean,
Yeah, you saw how good Tony Romo turned out.
Well, +2, after he got out of the New England structure where you got to be very plain Jane in your interviews and everything, all that. When he started getting he was able to talk and go on some of these podcasts and everything and all that. He started. You see, this guy's very funny. Very witty. He's got good personality. Like, he's going to be a very welcome addition. All the greats are usually. Most of the greats have personality. There's probably why they were great and got people to follow them and buy into this because they're entertaining people to talk to. So I'm looking forward to that. So. Next is from Philly Bob, and the subject is K100 Sports Episode 5.
Yeah, another one.
Oh, here we go again. Conan, they're getting on you for this. Conan is mistaken about the Eagles not having anyone left from the 2017 team. This guy's reiterating. These Philly fans really kind of get these Philly fans don't like misinformation, it seems like. Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Derek Barnett, Lane Johnson, Isaac Simulo, Jason Kelsey, Rick Lovato, and Jake Elliott are still in the roster. No question. Just want to say shame on Joe as a Birds fan for not correcting that immediately. As another guy, this is your fault, Joe.
Well deserved. Well deserved. Yes, it is my fault.
Well, I'll just say that on my part, it's honest mistake because I couldn't think of anybody that was on the same team from those years. But obviously, I was wrong.
And I'd want to clarify. While I am an Eagles fan, I'm nowhere near as hardcore as I was when Andy Reid was here, which makes Sunday, bittersweet for me. But of course, I am cheering for the Eagles.
Okay, so we're going to suspend this guy because this is misinformation. Also remind that moron Billy that the Eagles are 10-1 against winning teams. The Chiefs are 7-2, so his whole easy schedule theory is nonsense. Well, sir, the question was he looked at the schedule being easy before the season started and bet the Phillies win total over, and he won that bet and by 3 or 4 games. So it's like that's an idiotic comment right there.
Yeah, it was
So let's
9.5 games, right?
Right. Yeah, and he said it was an easy schedule on paper, which is why he bet it over. That's so stupid. So we're gonna suspend Phillies Bob. Actually, that's good though. Let's this guy's handle Phillies Bob.
I think you just want to suspend people from Philadelphia in general.
Phillies Bob. That's Coda. What do you think about a guy? Do you think Joe would be drinking beer watching the Phillies game with a guy named Phillies Bob at the local?
Yeah, because
right?
they both took a lot of time to think out their name. Crazy Eddie and Phillies Bob.
Wait a minute. Phillies Bob is eating chicken wings, and he's got buffalo stains on his shirt.
On his jersey.
Yeah.
You got Pat,
Right.
and Joe's next to him eating something. Pass me the ranch.
Right. Hey, that's right. You gonna eat? Hey, you gonna? No,
Hey,
like,
you had more
wait
than
a
your
minute.
half.
So, the guy's like got the bones. Hey, you gonna eat the rest of that? He's like Joe's eating the bones.
And then the doorbell rings. He goes, "Oh, that's the stuff."
By the way,
pizza. Yeah.
just I would like
Stuffed
to reiterate.
crust pizza. Yeah.
I have always had disdain for Philadelphia fans.
Right.
Being a Ranger came +2. When I wrestled Jackie on the pay-per-view, right? We had a rematch dark, like it wasn't on TV, but we had a rematch before a show at the Spectrum.
I was there.
Okay, pre-show, and I wore my Ranger jersey. Okay, and I would like to say the fans were very disrespectful to me when I came up with the Rangers. They were hurling.
Oh yeah, New York and Philly fans and Boston fans are among the most aggressive and annoying.
Especially at the Spectrum, the old school
Spectrum.
now they got the new. What's it called?
It's the Wells Fargo Center.
Wells Fargo. So it was a more classy play, but the Spectrum was like
That's a little bit old. That's getting up there itself. It came out in like '97.
That's where they played hockey too. Because I'm a huge old school Philadelphia Flyers fan, even though they're in the same division as the Bruins.
Absolutely not. I hated those guys.
And Montreal used to be in our division, huh? What?
Canadians? Yeah. No, I'm saying I missed the Spectrum a lot and the Vet. Like those were the old, grimy, dirty Philly places. Now
which is just like
corporate.
Philly. Philly's very grimy and very dirty, bro. You guys don't pick up
worse
trash.
Worse.
Interesting. This is from Mitch Polachek. I don't know if he listened to our show before he made this. So he posted this on Friday at noon. So our show hadn't come out yet. But he brings up point. We already talked about this. But this it's from Moxley blading. Moxley's called blatantly blading Dynamite this week. This seems to be a recurring theme with him. What is the deal with this guy? Back in the day, WWE wrestler would do it on the floor outside the ring when the camera focused on the opponent. Moxley to here sitting up in the ring. I realize he probably didn't know the camera was on him, but this is amateurish. The closest thing to this I can remember was blading that Triple H did to Regal about 15 years ago on Raw, but wasn't nearly this bad. Triple H did to Regal on the hard cam. What is your opinion on this? He's not yet, but do you think Moxley would be damaged goods at some point? And that's from Mitchell Mahu. Bro, I'm just telling you, like I said at 1.5, we talked about it last week's show. This is bad work. If you're going to blade, you can't cut yourself in front of everybody. That defeats the whole purpose.
That was strange.
Yeah. Like, why would he be on the ground or like lie down? It's like he literally sat in the corner and just pulled it out of his mouth and cut himself. Like, I don't know.
You guys, let me show you this real quick. The Regal Triple H clip that he sent, because I just spotted it, so you guys obviously spot it right away.
Jeez.
And now Triple H with a straight hard piston-like shots right in the face of William Regal.
Watch when he sits him up.
Regal's hands at his side.
Whoop.
Oh, you just
right there, yeah.
And another hard right. Oh, hey, there it is.
Yeah, but you wouldn't even know it if you weren't looking for it.
You weren't looking for it,
wasn't that blatant because he's in the middle of action.
Right. Bro. This was worse. And the thing that the guy goes, I understand. I didn't know the camera was looking. That's why you don't do it, because you don't know if the camera is looking. And number two, people got phones. They can videotape that, bro.
Right. You got to hide.
Yeah.
You're going to cut yourself. It's like,
right. That's
common
incredible.
sense. Like, I don't
how hard is it to get on the mat, put your arm like this, and with the other one do it?
Yeah. Away from the camera, where your back is like you can't get. No.
Put your head under the ring or whatever, bro. But incredible. I couldn't believe when I saw that,
bro. Let's call a spade a spade. Moxley's kind of been unprofessional. He says that he drops some on the show twice. He always gets caught blading himself, and it's just like I don't know. It's kind of weird.
This is the first time I've seen it,
and it's kind of weird. He's having this type of behavior since he's come back from alcohol rehab. Like he's kind of got. This is like the type of stuff you would do if, like, you think like, what's this guy doing out there? Is he messed up?
I just
You
think,
know, I don't know. It's like
as far as he's just trying to live up to his gimmick of a guy that doesn't give a f.
right,
But the blading, there's no excuse for that.
right. Next is from Sean Burgess. Subject is Brock Lesnar, best worker of all time. Hi, gents. Hope you're well. I guess my opinion is in the title this week. I listened to the Rumble review and you talked about Brock entering and his selling when get eliminated for this storyline with Lashley. It got me thinking. Is Brock the best worker of all time, or at least top 5? If you look at his believability, his great selling, and the way the crowd reacts to him literally every time he appears, there is a different feel to everything about him. The fact he is as legit can be helps with this. Has to be in the conversation, surely, and that's from Sean in the UK. I absolutely 100% agree. Brock has always valued the art of selling. He sells anger. He sells pain. He sells, he's a great emotional with facials and stuff. He's an excellent worker. It reminds you, like, back when, like, Goldberg was getting over. But people say, oh, Goldberg's not a good worker. It's like, well, bro, he's making people think it's real. Like, that's the ultimately the best work you can do is if you get the fans to think your match is realistic. And Goldberg was actually very good at that back in the day. With his fire and stuff, everything and all that. And so it's like, yeah, I absolutely think he's in the conversation for top 5 best workers of all time. If you're like, especially today, where everybody knows it's fake, but when Brock comes out, it's like, like I said, like, you're looking at the guys, like, and you see the way he manhandles people out there. It's like, is he really pissed? Because he's a UFC. Bro, perfect example. How about when he jacked Braun Strowman that time and punched him right in the face?
Yeah,
Braun, like, shit. Right. Mm-hmm. It's like you don't know if this guy's going to go off like that.
Or think about when he hit Orton with those forearms and really ripped him up and they stopped the match. That's when Jericho got into the fight with him.
Yeah, Bill Simmons made this point a while back. He said, like, the arena says when – this is years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. He said just – the crowd changes the way they are viewing the product when Brock comes out. And, like, that was the same way Goldberg was. Goldberg would get – it was called the Goldberg pop. It was a different pop. It was like when a person's pop – like Ric Flair would get a pop because the guys would be popping and the chicks would be popping. Like the girl – whoa, it's like just a very loud cheer. But when Goldberg comes out – and he would come out like with Brock, it's like the male members of the audience are like, yeah, Brock's coming out. Like they're literally like they want to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's that and that's ultimately the best pop you can get is like when the fans are like, they're fired up because they want to see you beat the shit out of somebody, which is the pop that he gets. What do you think about that, Conan?
Well, the guy was asking if he was one of the top 5 best workers of all time. I think he's amongst the greatest workers of all time. Not top 5, but he is top 5, like, for wrestling right now.
Right, for sure, right now.
Yeah.
He actually came back. It's already 11 years ago. Like, that's, and I remember hearing you talk about it on MLW, Conan. Like, but it's 10, 11 years ago. He's had great matches with everybody: Cena, Bryan, Styles,
Roman.
Lashley, Roman, like anybody they put him in with, it's pretty much been, successful because you never know. If he fights a smaller guy like Bryan or Styles, he makes them look good and he does good stuff with them. And if he fights a bigger guy like Lashley, it's going to be like a slugfest. He's very adaptable.
The only 2 guys that didn't give him a chance to have a good match with them were Kofi and Ricochet.
Oh yeah, well they didn't get the chance.
Yeah, well they booked it. They didn't book them to have a good match.
Yeah,
they just booked it squash. Right. Yeah.